Good morning, guys. Well, you're going to like this. Climate change. This is from Zero Hedge. It says, it has become a religion to believe in global warming. Excuse me, climate change. In fact, apparently, now it's been shortened to just climate, as in climate denier. Sorry. But haven't we always had climate? When did someone suddenly discover we have climate? The religion around climate is disconcerting enough, but the strident attitude towards anyone with an opposing view is frightening. There have been calls from reputable people, they put reputable in parentheses, to prosecute anyone with a different view. Here's what the article is basically saying. I'll put it into the description box for you. They just say it's a scam and people know it. It's fake news. And what I'm going to add to it is that the real purpose behind climate change, the whole thing, is to take money from us. That's the whole idea. It's not even about trying to, like the carbon tax and all the rest. It's not even about trying to equalize other countries with us. It's not about that. What it's about is taking money from us and destroying this country and putting it into the hands of the multi-billionaires. That's what it's about. Into the shadow government. Into the hands of people like Goldman Sachs and Al Gore and Robert Kennedy. That's what it's about. That's what it's always been about. But they just didn't tell us. It's like when they set up the UN. And there was, it was something before, it was called something before that. But what they were doing was they were setting up this system whereby they would have total control over the world. That's what it was all about. When these people, when they seek to control a large group, they never tell you what they're doing ahead of time. You know? It's like trying to get Bill Belichick to tell you what his game plan. No, he's not going to tell you his game plan. These people don't tell us their game plan either. Although they've become pretty brave here of late. But in the beginning, they were not going to tell us anything. And they certainly were not going to tell us anything about global warming and the real purpose. They're like, we'll let them figure it out as time goes along. Well, we did figure it out. It didn't take that long. And a lot of us knew immediately it was a pile of crap. It was just a pack of lies. Anyway, this next one is really quite interesting. Not that that one wasn't. But Google and Facebook. They say Google isn't a state. It's not a service. It's a private company. They can censor whatever they want, use a different company if they want to cut off thousands of people from their services. That's fine. They're free to do so. If this is capitalism, Google isn't a right. Facebook, Twitter are not free speech. They're private companies. That's from 4chan. As they say here, Google really isn't a private company. And it's not. It's a publicly held company. And if it continues to attack alternative media like Alex Jones and naturalnews.com, it may find lawsuits headed in its direction. The same may go for Facebook too. I agree. I've said this before. Here's what this article is saying. And you need to go to Zero Hedge if you want to read it. It's basically about the CIA being behind both Facebook and Google. It's Peter Thiel, who's really he was the one that funded Mark Zuckerberg $500,000. And then you have one of the founders of Google was Sergey Brin, virtually reported to the Pentagon, CIA, while developing the project that would eventually become Google. You know, you wonder why no one's been able to break into Google's business, although there's some that are trying to. And yes, I put my stuff on Patreon and VidMe. And and you know, so I'm trying to help broaden out my deal and protect myself for later on. But they're totally different sites. I'm just helping those sites become something. They're in the infant stages. But the bottom line, though, is that Google and Facebook were really created by the CIA, our money, and they control them, they use them. So anyway, it's a really good article. I'll let you go ahead and read it, and then moving on to some other stuff here from Zero Hedge. But keep in mind, though, Google and Facebook are not privately held companies. They are publicly held companies. And that's different than what Donald Trump has. Donald Trump has a private company. Anyway, moving on. Watergate's Bob Woodward. He says press shouldn't whine about Trump. It doesn't work with the public. And that's true. It doesn't. And that's why I think some of the people, they, like Van Jones, he's toning it down. He sees what's happening. And then charts of the week. 10 reasons to be cautious about this market. First and foremost, it's way overbought. Way overbought. And then where does this crisis end? Talking about the far left. Kurt Schlichter lays out the left's violent endgame. He says, we know where the leftists want it to end. With us silenced and subservient forever. Toiling to pay taxes for them to redistribute to their clients as they poke at, and torment us. The whole leftist platform is about putting us down and keeping us down. That's very true. Of course, you can't tell the snowflakes in college that. And of course, the people out in Hollywood, they can't even think past their nose. Come on. We're talking about people who pretend to be someone else for their living. The U.S. nuclear energy dream is dying. That's because of what Obama and Soros, they were so heavy into green energy that they destroyed everything else, the coal industry, everything. Now, the only reason I'm not a big proponent of nuclear energy is because if one of those things ever cracked, it does huge damage. Now, my buddy that's worked in one says that ours are way over, and it's a good thing. They're way overbuilt, but I don't know. I would rather see other forms of energy coming about. Darrell Issa demands special prosecutor probe for Trump-Russia connections. He's very wealthy, but you have to really wonder. It's like, seriously, what are you? Why would you want to keep this bullshit up? Yeah. Do I trust? I don't trust any of those people. I really don't. And then after Trump trolls Perez on Twitter, he says, "I'm going to be Trump's worst nightmare." You're not Trump's. You're America's worst nightmare. You are a nightmare. Period. You and everyone who surrounds you. Nexit looms. Dutch Parliament to debate leaving the Eurozone. It says potential Eurozone disruption possibilities keep compounding. For example, the Netherlands Parliament will now debate leaving the Eurozone. They all want to leave, no doubt about it. Goldman perplexed by the relentless bull market. They know what's behind it. Come on. The super wealthy are behind it. They're going to push it up, and then they're going to make a ton of money on the way down. I guarantee it. A two-state solution for the West? No, it's not going to happen. And if it does, they will be so sorry. It's just, forget it. Most illegal immigrants live in America's metropolitan area. Why? I'll tell you why. Because that's where they want them. That's where the far left want them to live. That's where the people who control everything, Obama, and I know he's a puppet, but I'm just saying that's where Soros wants them to live because they can use them there the best to control the voting process. It says here, what First Amendment Arizona wants the power to seize the assets of protesters. As I said before, that's a law that needs to be narrowed and to be made to actually make a little more sense. It's not exactly well written. Hillary Clinton calls for resistance. She says, "We need to stay engaged. I will be with you every step of the way. Even if I can't make the steps myself, my Secret Service will be there, and they better do exactly as I say, or I'm gonna rail on them. I will scream bloody murder in their face." I tell you what, I would not want to be around that woman. She is evil. She is rotten. They say here, make no mistake, Hillary Clinton is running for president in 2000. She won't even be on her feet in 2020. Get real. 2020 comes around, she could be in the ground. Wait a minute, do we really want her? She'd contaminate everything for miles around. Wow. And then the man in hiding after confessing to illegal fundraising. I did a video about him last night. Yeah, you know he fears for his life. And then, is the restaurant recession becoming structural? Yeah. Number one, we as a nation are in a depression. In fact, much of the world is in a depression. So let's just start right there. So therefore, all these restaurants, the vast majority, they're not doing well because the money isn't there. Anyway, guys, that's all for now. God bless y'all. Have a great day, and I will talk with y'all later. Bye-bye.